What up, everybody? Welcome back to the Celsius Podcast, episode number 37.
Yes, it is. Now,
I
Aiden, tell us,
think.
why is your face like that?
Oh my god, I'm gonna finish the intro first. Guys, what is today's date?
Barbenheimer.
It's July 21st. Guess what came out today?
Barbenheimer.
Barbie and Oppenheimer. And the temperature is
weather app.
71 degrees.
The weather Barbenheimer.
Wait,
on
it does.
It
That's
does?
Barbie.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, Barbenheimer,
Mine
short
does.
for Barbara Heimer, the Jewish mother who lives across the neighborhood. No, but
Aww.
let's see.
Oh.
But also the two movies releasing on the same day. So what us three did was we went
Plus two others.
plus two others not on the podcast. We woke up at 10 a.m. and then stayed awake for 2 hours. But then we drove to the theater, did a 1 p.m. showing of Barbie to a 3 p.m. showing of Oppenheimer.
5 hours.
In total, it took like 5 hours of watching. And
almost 6.
Yeah, almost 6.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But first, we gotta start off with what we're always doing, which is what we're watching.
Hey,
Whoa.
So let's have
What
Uri start us off.
we have been watching, you sexy man. Okay, guys. So there's a new show. There is a show on Apple TV Plus. It's called The After Party. It's the second season. The first season is kind of like an anthology murder mystery type of thing, where it's like the first season was like, so there's this like an old high school graduation, and then there's like one of them is like a really famous one of the students is like a really famous who became really famous, and he came back, but then in like the first shot of the show he's dead, and so it's at his after party after the graduation, so that's why it's called The After Party. I broke your brain. Okay, and so then there's like a cop who comes, and then each episode is kind of like a retelling of what happened during the events through each person's point of view. And like there's a bunch of like little things that add up. Like there's parts in one story that adds up to another person's to parts in a different story that make up like a full story by the end of the season to find out who did it. And at the end of season 1, we find out that it was the nerdy kid who did it. It was a nerdy guy who did it because he was mad that he never became famous like the guy who became famous.
So how is season 2?
Okay, so it picks off. So 2 characters got together at the end of last season, and so they're going to one of the characters' sister's wedding. His sister's wedding, but then it's similar thing, but instead now the sister's husband is groom. He's dead. The groom is dead. And so then the first episode was like the main guy from last season. He's also the main guy of this season. So the first episode is his version of events. And there's like a cop who last season she was a cop, but she's back in this season. She gave out to be a cop, and now she's an author who wrote events of last season into her book. But now she's back to solve this murder, even though she's not a cop anymore, because she wants to help the friend because he called her to come. But the thing about it is, logistically, how likely is it for a guy to have 2 murders in his life? You know, like I felt this thing doesn't really work all that much for like this guy for like a anthology series. I feel like it could have made sense if like they kept the only character they kept the same is like the cop lady, and it's like different murders she solves.
So like Knives Out.
Yeah, I felt like that could work because like logistically, how likely is it for this guy to have 2 murders in his life? You know.
Very.
I guess. It's like I think Phil Lord and Christopher Milliday executive produce the show. It's pretty funny sometimes. It's like because each perspective is different, they allow different types of genres for each episode. One's like Victorian, one's just animated, one's like noir detective. So it's like different perspectives, and each person's like their own unreliable narrator of events. And so it allows for different kind of stories to be told in that time frame. And so, yeah, they released the first 3 episodes, and I don't know, they seem pretty good. In other news, I've been watching Secret Invasion. I think it's the second to last.
Oh my god, guys! It's the weekly
Second to
Secret
last
Invasion review.
episode of the season, and things.
Are they getting
This episode was
better or
actually not
getting
that
worse?
bad. It was pretty good. So it's like things are kind of culminating between like, so we find out what Gravik, the villain of the show, kind of wants. He wants this thing called the Harvest, and that's a thing Nick Fury made. It's like a DNA of all the Avengers that he made after the Battle of Earth, and Nick Fury made that. And Gravik was actually, I think, was in charge of the team trying to get the DNA, but then I think he wanted the DNA, so Nick Fury hid it, and that's why he.
Wait,
Which one is Battle of Earth?
Was it an Endgame one, or was it
that's the Endgame one? I think,
or was it the New York one?
Oh,
that's New York, I think.
Okay,
yeah,
it might have been
like
New York then.
Or
'Cause I
Ultron.
swear I've heard something called that before.
I think it might have been New York, the first
before?
Avengers. Anyway, and so
Yeah,
that's his.
I don't know. I think
No,
Oh,
it
it
looks
is?
like,
Okay,
it looks
then
like it's
that makes sense
Endgame.
because a lot of, I guess, blood was spilt there, and so something, and so that's his goal to get the DNA. And Gaia, who's the daughter of Talos, her job in this episode is trying to be able to bury her father who died last episode by Gravik.
Oh,
So that's her goal. And then we have throughout this season, we've had like this British officer who's kind of a very sneaky woman who's managed to figure out that all of these guys are like Skrulls, and she's like kind of like a frenemy of Nick Fury, and they kind of work together. And they're both kind of working out to take down the Skrulls. And so, but then Nick Fury's, I think he's realized this is too much, and so he's planning to give the harvest to Gravik, and that's where the kind of episode ends off, with the final episode being.
So he's
gonna plan
giving
to give
it to the bad guy?
And so we're gonna see how that.
Oh,
I'm assuming they want to be able to like turn into the Avengers.
That seems like it. But and James Rhodey, he's also having his own things because he's like kind of working for Gravik, but also kind of working on himself, but by himself. Yeah,
the Skrull version of Rhodey.
And then last episode, there was an attempt on the president's life, but the Nick Fury managed to save him, and so Gravik wasn't able to start the war with Russia like he wanted to. And so we're gonna see how that all culminates. I'm gonna say the show, it got incrementally better. I feel like through each episode, but I don't know if it's definitely not the worst MCU show. It's not the best. What do you guys think is the best though? Yeah, maybe
Loki.
I like What If.
Yeah.
What If?
Out of the ones I've seen, Loki.
What If?
I did too. I like What If a lot.
Yeah, What If was really good. I feel like, watching it week by week was really good. Because they were all like, not really
and so
connected.
I would say but the show, it's nice, but I feel like it lacks something for me to really bite on creatively, and I just don't know if I can okay. It's like getting to a point where next MCU show, do I really care enough to watch it? I don't know.
Have you cared to watch the
I feel
ones?
like when the hype, because like when Disney Plus came out, they had a bunch of like MCU shows they were planning. So when the first 3 shows came out, people were really into them. I think like Loki, WandaVision, and Falcon Winter Soldier. And I feel like it kind of plateaued our interest. Generally, because okay, it's good, but like not good enough for us to actually really care enough about these shows. Like Miss Marvel, come on, do we really?
I don't know. I watched like an episode of that. I thought it had cool effects. It was better than like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I liked it. I mean, it wasn't good, but I liked it more than
good
like, some of the other
but they have the biggest sin of just being kind of meh. That's their biggest sin. Because a bad show is a bad show, and watching The Idol could be just fun, or you can watch a really great show like I don't know, Succession. That's really good.
Yeah, it's like a bell curve,
and that might be the biggest sin it's commit. Any of these shows kind of commit. They're just kind of there. They're like the vanilla superhero shows, I guess.
Yeah, or just like
But
vanilla
I'd say
TV.
Samuel Jackson is a pretty good in this in this show. He's kind of interesting as like a different type of Nick Fury, but yeah, yeah. And so other than that, I've been rewatching some Quentin Tarantino movies. I watched Inglourious.
Mm.
Well,
'Cause
he's
he's
gonna
not
make
making
his
any
final
more.
one coming up, and then I think
Wait, is that the
no, it
one that we
hasn't. That
saw
was
the trailer
Scorsese.
for?
He's gonna make a
Oh
final movie
yeah,
about
sorry.
like a critic who is like it's gonna be called The Critic or something, and it's like you can Google it, but it's like a movie about like a critic who never got famous but really lived. That's what he says of the movie. And I think he's also gonna make like a Netflix show. But he made a movie like in 2009 or something called Inglorious Bastards, and that movie's phenomenal. It's about like an
Oh
alternate
yeah,
World War
I
II
really
kind of
want to
history
watch
where
it.
like Hitler didn't kill himself. He was killed by like this group of ragtag American Jewish soldiers. And then we see like
Mm.
there's this German guy, like, the actor Christoph Waltz. He plays like the kind of like the villain of the movie, Hans Landa. But then he kind of plays the reverse character in another Quentin Tarantino movie, did Django Unchained, where he plays like um a slavery despising bounty hunter in America. And so he actually this actor won Oscars for both of the roles. And so
Yeah, I think I had to watch a clip of
I
Inglourious
watched it in film
Bastards
comp, but
for
I saw it in like
film
COVID.
comp.
It's a good movie. I think you should check it out.
Yeah.
It's like Quentin Tarantino movie. Have you seen any back? I feel like you
No,
might
I have
really like them
not.
because they're very quirky, like they're very defined. They feel like very like unique type of movies. I feel like they're very like kind of technical. They're very very unique, and like it's so fun to just watch these types of movies.
The ones
Kill
that
Bill,
I've seen,
that's a good one.
Kill Bill.
Those two are
1
good
and 2.
movies. Pulp Fiction,
Those are the
obviously,
only ones
that's
I've
the
seen.
iconic one. But that's
Yeah.
kind of been where I've been up to in wrapping of all the movies and TV shows I've been watching. So yeah, I'll watch the last episode of Secret Invasion, which I assume is going to be. I'm going to watch some more Quentin Tarantino movies.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of Futurama's coming in 3 days. Exciting.
Oh, 3 days. Wow. And then you
Yeah,
got
and
Harley
then there's like
Quinn
a
in a
new
week.
Dan Harmon show
True.
called Crapopolis. I sent a trailer.
Oh. Oh, yeah,
Looks
you
fine.
sent the trailer for that.
But Beck, what are you
Yeah.
watching, my good Bextifer?
All right. I've watched like mostly one thing, but I'll talk about that next. I watched like one episode of have you guys heard of
I've
Abbott
seen the entire show.
Elementary? You've seen the
Yeah,
entire
he's
I've talked
show?
about it.
about it
It's
one
good.
time.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried watching the
It's
first
fun.
episode. It's trying really hard to be like The Office or like Parks
Oh
and
no,
Rec.
it won a few Emmys.
And that it won a few Emmys. I don't know. It's not clicking with me. I might try to finish watching because it's only like
Yeah.
11
I mean,
episodes.
there's 2 seasons.
So it's kind of short.
Yeah, next one's like
Oh, there's
20
2 seasons?
episodes.
Oh,
I
okay.
think like if you commit to it,
yeah.
you might enjoy it because you enjoyed Ted Lasso, even though I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
some TV shows, like I saw this thing on Reddit. Like I watched this. I think he said tried watching Manifest like 3 times. First time it didn't click.
Oh,
Second time it
yeah.
didn't click. Third time it didn't click. Sometimes it just happens. That happened to me with Mad Men. I only clicked on it like it really got into it the third time. So sometimes it happens. I don't know if you guys ever felt that.
Yeah, I know that. I only watched like the first season of BoJack Horseman, and then the second season I clicked with me, and then I binged it like 2 times. I don't know. I'll try. But mainly I have been very close to finishing Steven Universe. So I think I left off last episode where I was in like halfway through season 2, and now I'm halfway through season.
So let's just say
5.
you're really
very quick to
hitting with
watch.
it. Is that safe to say?
Yeah. So, yeah, I binged like 3 seasons in a week, and it's good. Like I would say it's a good show, but sometimes it'll have like bad episodes. I feel like season 3 kind of has felt the strongest to me, and like season 4 had like a lot more weaker episodes. It was kind of hard to get through, and then season 5 it's like wrapping up, so you have a lot more plot focused ones, which are very engaging.
Yeah.
There's a lot of twists in the last like 10 episodes of the series.
All right, yeah, I will definitely have those finished. But
And the movie gets removed later this week, so you better finish
so
the show
I on this recording date, I have like 10 days to finish it and watch the movie, because for some reason they're removing a movie that I think they have full rights to from the streaming service.
Streaming service wars.
Yeah, that's
what would
cringe.
you say are the main?
No, it's just not paying residuals. That's like every time if you have full rights to it.
What would you say are the main themes of Steven Universe?
I don't know. Not killing. I don't know. It is like very
is it campy?
Like, it's kind of stupid. Like, he'll like just like take out someone's physical form where they're still like completely alive, and then it'll be like, but like, and then like act like he had to kill them. It was weird. Like,
don't worry, he actually kills people in future. It's really bad.
Let's go.
He shatters Jasper in future.
Spoilers,
bro.
No, Vec, don't watch Future, please.
Another thing is, I want to like at least watch it so I can be like understanding of like everyone's thoughts around it. Because if I only watch like the first show, it's like I don't like relate to you with hating Future and like that.
There's like 3 good episodes of Future, and the movie is good. And
then, one thing that is kind of like weird. I have 2 things that are kind of weird for me. They don't really know how to do a good season finale.
That's unfortunate.
Which is like weird, because like here's season 2, it ends with a random backstory episode.
That's because it got split in half, and that's the best.
Yeah, that makes sense. But then season 3, you think it ends like, oh my god, they take out the main villain. Okay, cool, good end of season. But no, then you have 2 episodes of them like going to space, and then he's trapped in space for another one. I'm like, you could have just ended it here. It would have worked. It kind of too much falling action for me. They like kind of made the ending not feel as impactful.
Yeah, but you get to hear the full end credits song.
You do.
And it's really good.
Okay, that is one thing that I think they've done a lot more in like in seasons 2 through 5. A lot more songs. Like in season 1, I was like, oh, it was like there's a lot of songs in the show. I'm like, okay, like every like few episodes of the song. But they go like really good on the songs in like later seasons. And they also do good like character songs. You know, like a character was just singing their emotions, which is something I really like.
A song about Pink Diamond or Rose.
Yeah. There's also one episode that just has like 5 songs, which is crazy.
Mr. Greg, it's one of the best episodes.
So just to recap, would you say the show has like you say you're interested in the show obviously now, but you'd say there's more good than bad of it? There's more.
Yes. It's just like sometimes the bad is just like kind of
it's more cringe over glaring.
Yeah, cringe or just like kind of just generic.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for that.
But the good is really good.
And then like also they sometimes are just like weird, like, okay, we're gonna give random 30-minute episodes instead of the typical like 11-minute episodes, to some really weird choices of episodes. Like one is just like, oh, Steven's uncle is in town. Let's do a 30-minute episode. Yeah. I'm like, you could have used these 2-part episodes a lot more effectively. Because sometimes they'll just like end one episode and then immediately jump to picking up on the next one. I don't know how you were able to like watch this like on regular TV.
So
Really
just to
couldn't.
recap,
Yeah.
overall thoughts.
Yeah. Overall thoughts, good show. You gotta wait for the character development in season 1 and all that, and then it really picks up in season 2 and 3. And then you have all the plot to carry you
Is
through 4 and
is the new
5.
like reboot still airing or? Okay. I just wonder.
When did the reboot happen?
I
Okay.
can look it up.
But time between end of first thing and start of revival.
Steven Universe Future came out in 2019.
Okay.
Okay, so Aiden, what have you been watching?
Oh wait,
So I
that's
watched-
all.
Yeah.
So
Aiden.
I really only watched one thing because I went to Florida this weekend and didn't end up
He
watching.
And he
did
got
go to
shot
Florida.
there, but
He
No.
did get shot in Florida.
No, I did not. But the one I do look like this though because I got my wisdom teeth removed yesterday.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna put
So that's-
we're gonna put an
That
image
also
right
is
now.
why I
We are not putting the image on there.
So the one thing I watched was on the plane ride back. I think it's one of my top 10 movies.
Ooh,
Are you ready?
holes.
Toy Story 3.
Great
Toy
movie.
Story 3.
I
Yeah.
think that movie is excellent in everything that it does. It gives every character their main spotlight at some point. It's action packed, great storytelling, voice acting, animation. Everything I
Wait,
think in that movie is perfect.
in Toy Story 3, there's a character that I feel
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. It's like a character I feel familiar with.
Guys, we watched Barbenheimer.
We did watch Barbieheimer.
We did.
Barbie
the
was in Toy Story
Barbenheimer
3.
And guess
Is
what?
what Uri was.
Just like
Barbie
in
was-
Toy Story 3, Ken is the hero.
We're gonna get to
Or Barbie.
man rights activist Beck's views later. Yeah. So, are you ready,
So
Aiden?
I think we should talk about
Yeah,
Barbie
so,
first.
Barbie
we
first.
watched
Beck.
Barbie first.
Okay, so we're each gonna give our own like some view and thoughts, like what we felt during the theater, what our expectations were, what happened coming out of it, what we felt, and then we can do some general discussion, or we can just move on to Oppenheimer. But Beck, you get to go first. Like, go
Got it.
tell us your thought process through it, what you felt during the movie, what you felt coming out, what you felt like now after you've seen it after a few hours.
All right, so I was going into Barbie thinking, okay, this is gonna be kind of a generic brand movie that's gonna be like kind of middle of the road. I watched it and I was like, okay, there are some really good jokes in here.
Favorites?
It does.
Any favorite jokes?
What? The beaching
Yeah.
off joke was funny, but also that was in like the trailer, so I already saw it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Then you go through all the plot. The plot, I don't know, it was a bit weird in my opinion. Like kind of hard to follow. Not hard to follow, just like kind of went some like weird places that I don't know, didn't really feel that natural.
Mhm.
Like okay, so
Oh,
spoilers
alert!
so we're gonna talk about it.
Spoilers.
So the main emotional like thing is like between Barbie and this mom that plays with the Barbie,
You know her
and you
name.
have all that, and then you weirdly have this side plot where and then you have like Mattel trying to fight them, and like Barbie can't be in the real world. So we have all this follow, and then Barbie just left Barbie Land, gets the mom, goes back to Barbie Land. The Mattel CEO follows them, and then they just completely fall out of the plot for like no reason.
Yeah,
Kind
no,
of confusing. I don't know. And then you have this weird plot where like Ken becomes red pill right wing activist, where
Mhm.
he now
So
takes
real.
over Barbie Land with like horses and
So
like a
real.
lot of beers, and then introduces misogyny into the Barbie world.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but you did have like Ken singing his song, which was like the best part of the movie. Oh yeah, we got a photo ticket booth with the
Mhm.
Ken thing.
And it's in black and white for Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Yeah, but Ken has his famous song "I'm Just Ken."
Ken.
It was
Which-
really good.
This is like what I said earlier, as I really like it when like a character like sings their emotions to the camera, and it's
Mhm.
like a parody of that, which was
Yeah.
really funny.
That was, guys, for the audience, that was Beck being sarcastic when he says he really likes it.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. So Beck,
No, but I swear, like some guy's gonna watch them and be like, "Yeah, the Ken was the good
yeah,
guy."
and
in
that
this."
guy was Beck, unfortunately. Beck kept saying to us, Ken was right. But yeah, so
Yeah, but also like this film was not made for 3 male high schoolers.
No.
I very much doubt the director was like, "Yeah, this is
so
perfect
but
for
Beck, give
them."
us some more definitive thoughts here. Like, what were your thoughts on some like story beats, plot points, like some like I heard you didn't like the speech the mom made, but I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, that one probably hits a lot more if you can like
Mhm.
relate to it.
Like if
Yeah.
you're a woman.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah. I kind of just saw this as like just a plain comedy. You don't need to take a
Mhm.
lot of emotions from it. The emotion of like the emotional arc, I just did not
No?
see it. Like it was so like obscured because it's like, all right, it's Barbie, and then like it's like the mom's having an existential
Mhm.
crisis, but then Barbie talks to her creator, and then she becomes a real human. It was hard to follow like what theme you were supposed to get besides
So the themes that I took away was that girl power,
yeah.
guy power, girl
Yeah.
power times 2, be yourself, be who you want to be. There's like 8 more
Mhm.
that I'm missing.
There's a lot of like
A lot more
I
just
feel
be
like
yourself.
yeah, I don't. Some of the themes we take away from this movie, I don't think they're really meant for us. But I feel like we can still appreciate them to a certain factor
Yeah.
because, like, I don't think it
Even
was
like
really obviously. This is very. It's like they kind of flip it, like you know.
we were in a theater full of women. It was
Oh yeah, there were
really
like
funny because
3 other guys.
we
that weren't
walked in
us.
as like 5 guys into like a theater that was just
Wait, how does
packed
a
with
restaurant
women.
walk into a theater? 5 guys.
What?
What?
Oh my
Shut
god,
up.
bro! Shut up.
But no, so Beck, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Like I feel like there were definitely some story beats that kind of could have been cleaned up a bit. But so,
Yeah,
would you say that when
it sacrificed like a lot of stuff for just jokes, and I didn't really like try to take the emotion stuff
would you say that
seriously.
you felt better about the movie coming out of the theater than you are now?
Oh no! Coming out of the theater, I was like, "Oh, that was a really good film," and now I'm like, "Okay, that was a okay
Yeah,
film."
no, I feel like
Mm.
I mean, like every time you walk out of a theater, it usually like hits you as like that was good. You never. I don't feel like I've ever walked out of a theater and was like that's bad. It's mostly like when you sit on it a bit more and you like think
yeah.
about it.
No, I was kind of confused what the themes of the movie were gonna kind of be because I was like thinking one part when in the beginning of the movie I thought maybe they would do a theme of like you know how like each Barbie has like one like this is this Barbie and this is this Barbie. I thought it was maybe something
Oh
breaking out of
yeah.
like just one role and everybody can do
Like the
everybody can be
Emoji
like a
movie. Like the
Oh yeah.
Emoji movie.
One thing that was crazy to me was like I was surprised when like this movie just got made because they kind of make fun of
Mhm.
Mattel
No,
like
I
a
read a thing where
ton.
the CEO
It's
was
really
okay with that.
funny.
It was like, you know what, we made some bad decisions in the past. You can make fun of it.
Yeah, and I give them a lot of credit for actually doing that. Like when. Also, they just have like a Warner Brothers Discovery building in the background of one of them.
But this movie, for you, Beck, just wrap up what are your total thoughts on it?
It's a good film. I would recommend you watch it and just go into it thinking like, okay, good comedy, fun time. You'll get a couple of the Barbie references.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is something you could very easily just like watch when it comes out in streaming. I don't think you necessarily need to watch it in theaters.
But yeah, so Aiden, you can tell us some of your thoughts going in the theater, your hype, everything.
So I mean, the trailers didn't give much away of the movie, which is good. They only give away like the first half. But you know how most movies have like a first act, second act, third act?
Yeah, that's
so the third act felt like the first act, and like the seventh act felt like the third act. There was a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of acts.
There was a lot of different parts of the movie. I enjoyed each of the parts of the movie. I feel like they all could have been their own separate movies, and all the characters were well written. It was funny. All the sets were well designed. I think it was a good movie.
Yeah,
but I think there was too much going on.
Yeah, one thing I just want to add is I feel like they could have toned down the jump scares a bit for like the small children.
At one point, and it was really funny.
There's a random jump scare by like the weird Barbie.
He was just he spooked himself.
For some reason, I don't even know why I screamed audibly in the theater, and I feel like a lot of people around me were really confused.
Yeah,
but I think the movie could have ended a lot earlier.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's what I think. But I'm glad it went for as long as it did. I enjoyed the whole thing.
So overall positive is a lesson a few hours since?
I don't know, because usually when you come out of a movie, you have time to process it, but we didn't have time to process it because we had to go immediately to Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
So but I think I still like it as much as I did in the theater. I give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10.
Yeah. I don't know. Also, like, I kind of feel like, well, I just remember this. The two human characters, I don't even remember their names, were very, like, underbaked.
Yeah.
Like, they were, like, the daughter was only there to be like, oh, you remember when you played Barbie dolls with your kid? Such good
average
times.
Liberal daughter like, be like...
Oh, that plot twist was also really bad.
That was so obvious.
Like, I knew it immediately.
Yeah, as soon as you did the drawings, that was kind of obvious. Yeah.
Also, like, a lot of things didn't really make sense. Like, when they go into the Mattel room and Ruth is there, it's like, how does that work?
And also, one other thing is, like, they're trying to put Barbie in a box, and, like, so you're just gonna put her in the box? What are you gonna do when she's in the box? You're just gonna, like, keep her? I don't...
ship her off back to Barbie land, I don't know.
They didn't really explain that much.
There's a lot of world building that didn't happen.
It's a very, like...
that happen in Barbie land affect the real world, but also they works backwards.
How do they affect the real world?
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm gonna get that in my part review.
The Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa house existed in the real world after he made it. So I don't really know.
But, okay, I think I'll get my review now. But just before I get my review, I want to say I'm reading this article. It's like, Barbie owner Mattel plans 45 movies based on their toy IPs.
45?
I did see that also.
What other, like, brands
does
Mattel
they need at least 20, they need at least 20 Barbie sequels. And then, I don't know, Alan movie? I don't know.
Well, because look, here, I'm just going to go to the Mattel website and read off what they have. So,
okay, our brand portfolio.
Barbie, Hot Wheels, they have
Barbie,
Uno, I guess.
I cannot
Barney the Dinosaur? That's an A24 movie.
Or Barney. They own...
They do not own cars.
No, they don't own
Uno,
cars. They own
Polly.
a bunch of toy stuff. They have, Thomas.
This is just all
Train.
like the toys they've
Mhm.
made.
Well, yeah, but Magic 8 Ball. They're making an 8 Ball movie, I think.
What
Like a horror movie.
is that going to be like the Death Note or what?
I don't know.
How's the Magic 8 Ball going to be a
Mhm.
movie?
But okay, I'll get my review now. So going into Barbie,
Oh, it's a horror comedy from Cocaine Bear
fun.
Writer.
So it's gonna be
Magic
the
8
best
Ball,
movie ever.
so.
But okay, so I'll get my review. Going into the theater, first I gotta say, I feel like it's kind of a benefit and a curse that no matter what, on this day, we've kind of interlinked these two movies together that perhaps should not be that interlinked.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
what's
It's
funny
funny,
about it.
but at the cost of like kind of jeopardizing each viewing experience. But I would say
Yeah.
the Barbie movie overall, good movie. I liked it. I came out of the theater. I liked it. I'm here now. I like it. It's a good movie to say overall. But going to there was definitely some funny moments. Obviously, I think Margot Robbie did a really good job acting as Barbie. Ryan Gosling.
Oh yeah. Margot
Ryan
Robbie was
Gosling,
really
great as
good.
Ken. I like Simu Liu. He was great as that Ken. And then Alan, I think Alan's probably like the funny character, the really funny character of the movie for me. I think he was like, that was just his tiny part was really funny. The CEOs, they kind of like they kind of burned out their storyline. They could have fixed that a bit more. I would say this movie was very interesting. It's like the themes, they kind of like a parody within themselves, like like because they even say like Margot Robbie is not the person you want to say for someone who's not pretty. There was definitely some sort of meta level to this movie of like some kind of parody, but also kind of like, yeah, it is girl power, we should do this, but also kind of like making fun of it, which is kind of the point of like Barbie in this movie, that she's kind of like she's seeing the real world and that she's not being it's not, she didn't really change anything. But there was like I think some story beats that I don't think personally made sense. But like the daughter, I found her kind of like, as you said, underbaked, undercooked. She was kind of just an annoying little character. I didn't feel like
like I swear you could remove her from the plot and not have to change like anything. All she does is like say like 2 lines.
I still do think a lot of our problems stem from us not being.
Yeah. But also like there's like 50% of the population. So
but
that's true.
I don't know.
I wanted to say that it was funny, interesting, but I don't know if just defeating Ken is like is that really the big thing?
Yeah, no, he should stay
defeating
winning.
like, is that really the climax of the movie, just defeating Ken? I don't know. It was interesting.
It was
I
weird.
liked it. I feel like it was a bit weird, but I enjoyed it. Like this movie it had very good jokes. What did you guys think of kind of like the narrator, the creator of Barbie, Ruth? I feel like that was kind of well used, but I don't know.
Did they get like the original person that made?
I don't think so.
Is that actor the one that actually made Barbie or no?
Who made
no
Barbie?
Because like Barbie was made like a really long time
The person's
ago,
name was
Ruth
actually
Handler.
Ruth Handler, but it's not. I don't think it's the same person because she died. She died in 2002.
Sex coins, financial crimes. It looks like she probably did. So in the movie, they say she.
So she actually did the financial crimes.
It looks like she probably. Yeah, it looks like she did actually do that.
I was gonna say that.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna say
that
right now.
Actually, I thought I was going to be like upset by the world building of this thing. Like, oh, it doesn't make sense. Like how it connects to the real world. Obviously, it's not perfect, but I didn't really expect it to be. So I just kind of let go with the flow of like what I'm like. Oh, they go to Barbie Land, they go back. It's like connects to the world. I wasn't too bothered by that. I was fine with it because I just like, okay, it's fine. It probably doesn't. If you break into it, it doesn't make the most sense. But like what things do, like Us. That world makes no sense. The world of Us. Like if you really deep dive into any world, probably doesn't make that much sense. But Barbie, I don't know. I was kind of confused by like what like kind of like the overall message was trying to be. Obviously, I'm a man, so I don't really know. But it's like, so what? The Kens
Yeah.
just go back to being class citizens at the end, or
No, they get one judge role.
True.
Yeah.
and so I
Uh,
guess
yeah.
that was like the only thing I was really confused about. Like, so what? Okay, and then like there it says, okay, they'll be like the women of this world in real life, and so it's like
Yeah.
I don't know if that made for the best.
Guys, they have Margot Robbie Barbie dolls and Ryan Gosling
No,
Ken dolls.
Nice.
So
and so I would
All right.
say
Well,
I felt like there was themes that I missed because obviously a man, but I enjoy the meta layer parody aspect of it that I quite like the like that those presents in the movie of like like she didn't actually change anything, but then it's like but then like I guess I like the message that like that it was hopeful, but like it wasn't too much. I felt like it was good. It was good. The messages could have been like maybe tightened up a bit. I don't know, but it was overall a good movie. Culturally, I think Oppenheimer is probably going to make a bigger impact, and so that's why I'm going to move on to Oppenheimer.
all right.
I don't know
Yeah.
about it, but
Wait, speaking of
All right.
Oppenheimer,
One thing you should.
I got to do something.
Wow. Wow, guys, he's in black and white like Oppenheimer.
he's gonna blow up the Japanese people.
All right. Final thing before moving on to Oppenheimer, we should probably watch another review probably by a woman before deciding whether to go because I don't know, maybe it's stuck better.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
All right, Oppenheimer time. Let's do
Oppie,
this.
it's my boy Oppie.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys, want me to start?
Sure.
All
We
right.
get the same order as last time.
So, I have never seen a Christopher Nolan film like in theaters
neither.
before. So, this was like a big thing for me. And one thing I will say is this movie should like really be experienced in theaters. Like a lot of the times, like the sound needs to like have that impact, Like to put you in the same headspace. Like it'll play these like weird, disorienting sounds, and it will make you feel disoriented. And it kind of brings you a lot more into the film than if you're like watching it off like normal speakers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like one main thing. And then going into the main plot, I thought I knew what was going to happen in this film. Like I know who Oppenheimer is. I know we made the bomb. I know it dropped. I know he was sad about it and all this. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to see any of this coming. But then we start off and it's like this backstory to him, which was really cool about how he was kind of like trying out communism, ideals of like unionization,
And how he tried to poison his teacher,
kind of giving more depth to
cyanide
him.
in the apple.
Yeah. And then also we have this side by side arc of this guy who I've never heard of, and he is trying to be appointed to the presidential cabinet, and it's weird. It's like, how does this really connect to it? So we have that loose thread hanging about, and I feel like if you're like a historical scholar following like the time period, like the government, all of this makes sense to you. But someone with a basic understanding, it's really cool because it's like you went into something expecting to know everything, and now all this crazy stuff's happening. But then midway point through the story, you follow like the basic stuff you think everyone already, or that like basically everyone knows. He makes the camp in Los Alamos. He makes the bomb. The bomb is dropped in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Yeah. But then that's like the second act, which is weird. And let me tell you something, that bomb going off was like absolutely insane.
That was great in
theaters.
Mhm.
Like I know me and Uri were sitting next to each other. We both like leaned forward,
I leaned
completely
forward.
ready.
I also leaned forward way before everyone and told everyone else to lean forward.
Yeah. And then like
I think that was the best part of the movie. Was that
yeah, the
going?
bomb dropping, I
Yeah,
would
because
definitely
like it
say
or
is the
not,
best
that
part.
no matter
Like,
what, that scene is awesome. The bomb dropping.
That
Mhm.
scene is awesome. You could not be following the plot at all. Like you could literally sleep, walk in there, watch the bomb
That was me.
watch the bomb scene and still be like, this is amazing. It goes off, it's this blinding light, and then it's the silence watching all these explosions and everyone's reaction, knowing like what they've created, how this will change everything. And then, when that sound wave hit, I went literally flying back in my seat. It shocked me so much.
Yeah, no. It was the bomb dropping was like it was just like so visceral and like and how we watched it. It's kind of like there's so many great other moments in movie history that I think this could be like one of them because this was very impactful.
Yeah.
It was like this was my JFK getting shot in the head, you know? This is
What?
Which is no, that's a
yeah,
reference to
it's
the
a
film.
reference to the film.
So, and then we have the third act, which now is like when you're starting to like piece together everything that's happening. It's like, oh, this is this is the guy who is trying to take down Oppenheimer, or did
Yeah.
take down Oppenheimer, now getting his destruction for it. And that's alongside him basically just getting grilled and interrogated, which is like a great way to show his emotion and his guilt and his thought process, which I think was good. But then yeah, the movie ends
With him
they
at a pond thinking.
yeah, the last line of this is really good. It's like Oppenheimer talking to Einstein. Einstein, I feel like he was in this film for like majority
Yeah,
like
but he
two
played a
scenes
very big
where
role.
it's like he's yeah, Einstein was really good. And what's good is that it kind of makes you like if you have to know the history of it for some of it. Like you need to know that Einstein was the one that said we need to make a bomb before the Germans.
Yeah, and I really like how they incorporated the use of his iconic line, "I am become death, destroyer of worlds."
Yeah, I don't okay. I was waiting for them to do that, so when they did in like the first like 15 minutes, I'm
But then
like,
what about when he like
okay,
says
I
in his
get it
head
now. When he says it in his head, that's good. That like if I had never heard him say that line before, that would hit a lot harder. Because I feel like you wouldn't like have like the expectation of him saying it. But yeah, we end the film. It's Einstein, Oppenheimer talking about upon. He's like, we were talking about how the nuclear bomb might cause a chain reaction and end the world. And he's like, yeah, it's like I think we did. And I thought that line was really
powerful.
poetic.
That was very on point.
And that's the line that ends the film, which is
yeah, no, it's like this movie is a very interesting experience to go through that I feel like that needs to be dissected on rewatches. And
yeah, you need to like come back with the context of who these characters were. Because there were so many like scientists in this, I couldn't like remember. Like they're like, oh, this guy, he was a Soviet spy. I'm like, what did that guy do again?
Yeah, I'm not sure who any of the characters were, but I'll get to that in my turn.
And then like some of them, it's like you were able to be like, oh, this is the guy that wanted to make the hydrogen bomb.
This guy is the commander.
But then there's like, yeah, the general. Some of them you can be like, okay, these guys are solid characters. Yeah, a lot of them are specific, but then some of them are like side characters that you never fully got to understand, and then they come back in the big like trial, and you're like, I don't really understand like what is very significant.
Yeah,
about
no,
this.
it plays for a very like kind of almost confusing watching experience because like
Yeah, I was definitely
it's like
confused in a lot of
you
places, but
try to
still,
like understand what these people are, but like because like any good movie should not have you watch other things beforehand. But it's like I think no one makes movies for rewatches for the rewatch factor, and so
yeah.
it might take a while to understand because like so throughout this movie sometimes I don't know I can't even hear what they're really fully saying because they talk very fast. That at least for me, they talk
Yeah.
very fast sometimes, and the physicist's talk goes over my head a bit. But Beck, overall thoughts?
Overall, the film I would definitely recommend, even if you don't fully understand it, those emotional moments still hit really hard and make it an amazing viewing experience. And I very much recommended you watch it in
Yeah, no,
theaters.
definitely. Because like it kind of feels weak in comparison to watching it on what your little phone.
Yeah. Like you kind of need that. And like most films are better experienced in theaters, but some you can very much get away with watching like on your phone, like Barbie or something like that.
I'd at least watch Barbie on the TV.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Barbie is not going to have that much of an impact now that I'm like thinking about it.
It's not.
It's not like
Well, Barbie's made more money than Oppenheimer, though.
it has,
Well,
like, but also like the Mario movie has made like a ton more money than like a ton of other more like
Barbie
influential
made more
films.
money than the Mario movie, though, already.
Really?
okay,
Yeah.
but
Okay, that's like first day.
yeah,
so.
but okay, Barbie. It's a good movie, but I wouldn't consider like to be on like a level. I'm not shaming it because like it's gonna obviously make a big impact on like little girls and like people who watch those like girls who like watch the movie. It's like it's a very powerful movie for us. But this kind of movie kind of provides more of like a more of like a gentler kind of like character study of one man that we're seeing in this movie. It's a very
Yeah.
powerful kind of like rendition of like what like total like I guess maybe total power can do like when he has like he kind of like they kind of like set this guy to be like kind of like the most powerful person to ever exist in the world.
Most important person, I think.
And like obviously
Yeah.
nothing in this movie is perfect.
I think it kind of made me like really care about history. Cause like it's like a movie like telling you about this can like really make you like actually care about like, oh, like this is like insanely important, like all this like stuff
Yeah.
is
And
like
like
happening.
it factually matters. Everything they did has led up to this exact point. And this movie is like you can read about the history of Oppenheimer in a book, but can you like feel what it feels like to be Oppenheimer? I feel like in this movie you felt like Oppenheimer in this movie.
Yeah, that's like one thing about like history class is like I remember like they showed us like these like videos of like trying to characterize the three people in like the Cuban Missile Crisis. And what it did was like it explained like a backstory event that like made them choose what they were going to do in the Cuban Missile Crisis, and that made me connect with it a ton more than they were just like, yeah, this guy, he didn't want the nukes to be fired in the Cuban Missile Crisis. You need like the characterization to actually like care about it.
I think for me and Beck, I don't know about you, Aiden, but I think for me and Beck, it gave us something like very creatively. We could like it satisfied us. We like, but I kind of want to hear the other side of someone who was like maybe a little less impressed with the movie. I still liked it, but a little less impressed. Someone who might have preferred the Barbie aspect of side of things more. I just want to hear that side.
Now, who've listened to the podcast before, I'm not like the drama kind of guy. I'm not a big fan of dramas.
Oh,
I like comedies more, but like I can still enjoy.
Yeah, I thought you meant like
right?
a big guy who causes drama. I was like, whoa.
No, like drama movies. Like I still enjoy them, just not to the level as comedies or anything like that.
Guys, I'm in color now.
What Oppenheimer
Oh, let's go.
was a good movie.
Yeah.
I will say it. the script writing was amazing. The cinematography was really
Acting,
good.
yeah.
How they handled
I
acting
think
was
silly.
eh.
Yeah,
Some of the accents
I
felt
think the
really
main
phoned
guy
in.
might win an Oscar though.
Mm.
The main guy
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
win an Oscar.
But well, one of my problems was
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
One problem is that I am currently taking drugs to not be in pain, and
Yeah,
that
that is
made me
not the best
very
experience.
sleepy and drowsy. So I was half asleep for most of the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
2, I don't like history very much, and I never really learned about World War II because that happened during COVID, and I never got retaught
Oh.
it. So I was confused about everything. I'd never heard of
Op.
Oppenheimer until this movie. Oppenheimer until this movie happened. So I was lost the entire movie.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. I'm not gonna say this
Mm.
movie is like 100% perfect. I like it almost gets to that point, but I think there's definite flaws. That's like, let's just say in movie terms, it's not very user friendly. It doesn't like this, as we've said, it's definitely for rewatch. It's going to take some inhaling, but like, if you're not generally ingested into that history, I don't think this is a Nolan movie for you. I think something like maybe, even though it's also a hard concept, I think something like Inception might work better because that's like action. It's like they make up their own type of thing in the thing, but no, no. Did you have any like specific like thoughts about the movie, or like, because I know you get lost, but like any thoughts?
Like I didn't really like the has switching between the trial, the actual thing, and the black and white kind of didn't make sense. I didn't like how things weren't in chronological order, despite being a
Yeah,
history-esque
no.
film.
Yeah, that was one thing that I was confused with, at least in the beginning, until I got my grasp on it, was they kept saying like after the war, and I thought
Mhm.
we were looking at Oppenheimer after World War II, but it was actually just after World
Hmm.
War One. So
Mhm.
that kind of left me off like a wrong foot in the beginning of the film. So there's definitely like some clarity they could say, like, I don't know. I swear, just put like a number, like to say 1939 one time up on there, and it would clear
Yeah, but
a
almost
lot of
like on
stuff
the
up.
flip side of that, I'm gonna say like these scenes are
Like
used.
like if they had year title
Yeah,
cards in there, year or date title cards that showed that, then it would make a lot more sense because there's a lot of cuts jumping around to different places in time, showing the same thing multiple times from a different perspective, but also being different.
yeah.
It was very
It's
confusing
definitely
to
Yeah.
me
it's
personally.
definitely a very kind of hard movie to grasp. On the flip side, I'd say I feel like the timeline stuff was kind of used specifically to confuse you in the beginning, so you can find out like the later half, the second piece, like third act of the movie. And so the scenes are kind of used to accentuate the other, to have a more narrative impact on you, to make it more cohesive. Like, oh, that makes sense. It's like, the kitty, she's like mean to like Teller because he like just recently, a few scenes ago, is like he kind of badmouth Oppenheimer to like to the the board of the atomic like
Yeah.
energy commission. And so it's like they're kind of used to narratively impact, to make a greater narrative impact on you, but this is a very Nolan thing to do, to kind of fuck with you. Nolan's a very known for this, and so I feel like maybe it might, for you, it might have been, if another director had it who does the more traditional style, it might have been better for you, Aiden, is what I'm getting at.
Maybe. Like I've seen Interstellar. That's the only other Nolan film I've seen, and I didn't really like
Yeah,
that one either. That one was like equally as confusing and just generally I
yeah.
didn't
No,
enjoy it.
it's.
Yeah. We gotta get him to watch Inception. That one's a lot
I
simpler.
also think a 3-hour movie
I'm
is
gonna
too
say
long.
this. I definitely
I think
think
it
there's an
depends.
argument for this movie to be cut down, and there's an argument movie to be kind of just the length it is in both
Mhm.
ways. Beck, do you have an argue? Which side do you pick?
I'm saying they definitely could have cut scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But also like I feel like a film can have a justified 3-hour runtime.
Yeah, but I
Like,
don't think this one did.
yeah, no, the pacing did not support a real 3-hour
No,
runtime.
the pacing felt weird a bit. I'm gonna say this. I think both Barbie and Oppenheimer could have cut scenes down. Both of them. They're both
Oh, definitely.
simultaneously. Yeah. Do I really see all of this? But yeah.
I think I think Barbie probably could have cut out 20 minutes of time, and I think Oppenheimer probably could have cut out
Yeah,
like 30 or
Yeah.
40.
Yeah, Barbie definitely could have cut down on a
But
lot of
I'm
stuff.
just I'm gonna say this about Oppenheimer. Let me think. Well, honestly,
I'll say I don't regret doing Barbenheimer.
Yeah, no,
I
this
enjoyed
was
it.
a great
it was a great.
experience.
I had lots of fun with my friends, and both movies were enjoyable.
I'd never seen a movie
Didn't like Oppenheimer
Yeah.
less than I hoped.
I'd never seen like a movie back to back before, so this was fun. And also like the event of just like going there, getting all the food, like 5 people doing it like as a joke.
Yeah, but
It was fun.
I wish I was able to participate in the food eating
Yeah,
instead of just
sorry.
I'm gonna
looking
say,
at baby
and I'm gonna
food.
ask you a question. Were you kind of lost in the beginning where things were kind of slow?
100%. I was so confused in the first like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and
for some reason I
never
kind of
caught up.
felt that. I just felt being next to you. I kind of felt you might have been lost for some reason. I just felt like you might have been. Yeah, I
was
felt
lost
you
the
might
whole
have been
time.
lost, and that's even for me. I was like thinking, like in the beginning, it was. I thought it had a really slow start, but it's like, and then, but then like okay, I was like, okay, can we move?
Yeah, once I got to the
The bomb
building, I feel
building was
like
more,
people
and
were
then
able
once
to
it started building to the bomb thing, I feel like that's when it hit the stride. But personally, this is actually kind of a twist because you assume that after the bomb building, the second act, for me at least, it would be a little slow. It would go back to slowness.
It's
But for
over.
me, I felt the trial stuff was actually, for me at least, because I found that stuff interesting. I felt that was more engaging than the bomb building for me because I found it was really interesting that they're not focusing too much on like, oh, impact, like bomb building, like more stuff. Thinking on like the impact of like this man, like the communist ties he might have had.
Yeah, the psychological
Yeah,
effects
because
of
like one
everything.
thing yeah.
It was also just like it was like, bro, why was the US government like so concerned with communism? That's like something I feel like a lot when like reading about like the history about it and like seeing it in this film. It's like actually crazy how much witch
Yeah,
hunting they
no,
were
it's
doing.
insane because in this era of McCarthyism, that communism was kind of like the number one enemy.
Oh yeah, one other thing, they made like Truman the
No, it's
biggest
like
asshole,
that was very funny.
and I'm like, I feel like Nolan just like for some reason really didn't like Truman because he has like one line. It's like, "I'm the one that killed all of them." You think they care about the guy that
I'm
built
the
the
one
bomb?
who knocks. I am Hiroshima. You little bitch. You think that blood's on you? I literally paint my head red. You bitch.
Yeah,
That
that was a
very
little weird of a scene.
But
Yeah,
I'm gonna say like I really like how they didn't kind of paint Oppenheimer in one light. They had multiple lights. Like I feel like it played true to who he was because like we think because he's like a weird nerdy guy and that we can like protagonize with like he's like he was the main character, but then this movie, even though it was like from the prosecutor as a bad guy, I feel like the prosecutors made a good point. Like, okay, now you have some moral principles after you literally made the bomb.
and you don't want to build another super weapon. Wait, you were on board with this like,
And so it kind of showing you that
now?
yes, he was a complex person, but he also was kind of a monster who built a bomb, you know. And that's why I feel like that's
Yeah,
I feel like that's how Oppenheimer even probably felt about himself, you know. I feel like that's why he says he's become death,
yeah,
and death is kind of like not just death isn't one thing. It's kind of like a ambiguous, like multifaceted thing that's kind of everything and nothing. And I feel like the ultimate movie message is kind of like Oppenheimer represents kind of like a death, And like he
Mhm.
like because what did you guys think about Oppenheimer as a character? Did you like him, or like what were your thoughts? You
I
liked
like
him?
him. He was compelling. I wanted to see what happened to him. He definitely was like very antisocial. He was like the very
Yeah, but he
silent
got
type.
chicks, man.
But I feel like you could see through the acting that like it was taking a big emotional pain on him. And that's why I feel like you really need a good actor to play him, because he's not the guy to like say all of this. He's the type of guy that's subtly like with his eyes and like with his facial expressions.
You know,
So I feel
no,
like yeah.
I really it was like I feel like it was very much a character study in my opinion. It was very like it's like this is
Yes.
one guy who's like who has the power of the world in his hands, you know. But
Yeah.
in some of the other characters, obviously could have been fleshed out. I don't know, like obviously she's important, but Jean Tadlock didn't really do that much for me. The
Uh
suicide one.
uh
See, I
oh
went to the bathroom when she killed herself, so I was just confused why she didn't show back up in the movie, and no one explained it to
yeah.
I feel like some parts could have been trimmed out. I
Um
don't know if I truly believe that. Like I felt like maybe they could have made worked on like the Lewis Strauss part of things like a bit more because like okay, so what? His
Mhm.
chief person is like, you know what? I don't like you anymore because you were mean to Oppenheimer.
yeah, and also I feel like his character motivation is like he embarrassed me in a Congress trial. I'm going to kick him out of his
Yeah,
career. Um it didn't
but the
feel the
thing, yeah.
best. It
Mhm.
was kind of like you embarrassed me twice. I'm going to ruin
Yeah.
your life. It's kind of
But I
petty.
mean,
It's
humans are
like
petty people,
I don't
and
know.
the guy was. I think I don't know. Do you do any research on him? Was he? How was he in real life?
I don't know. His Wikipedia page was like
Yeah.
extremely long, and the Oppenheimer part was like not that long of it. I don't know. It'd be cool to like watch like a YouTube video explaining everyone.
But I'll just say recap. I feel like both Barbie and Oppenheimer kind of provide kind of like I feel they are. I feel like they're two sides of like a different coin of a coin. That's like one just like kind of this bubbly thing as like more of a kind of like a social commentary on large, and then you got like this dark side. It's more of just a singleized character study that represents. It does bring social commentary, but more it's like this the mind of one man who's caused probably could be the most important man on earth, causing these ripples. And it's like there's two sides.
Yeah,
Aiden prefers this side, and I think Beck and me, while loving this side, me and Beck
I
like this
prefer
side just a bit.
Oppenheimer.
But overall, I think they both they it's a curse and a gift that they provided the same viewing experience on the same day.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good experience. We were able to
And
watch two really good
so I'm
films.
gonna give
Mhm.
both of them an A plus.
True.
Actually,
I would
it may be A
recommend.
minus for Barbie, but okay,
I'll probably rewatch Oppenheimer
yeah.
at some point
Yeah,
and
I
rejudge
don't
it in
see
the rest.
myself like rewatching Barbie
No.
anytime in the future.
Unless
I kind of
unless like my family puts it on, I'll probably
yeah no
watch
it,
it.
yeah it kind of feels like something like you were at a party like oh we should put on Barbie. I'm like I need to be like oh,
But
okay
I'll watch
sure.
Oppenheimer
Yeah,
to rejudge it
because you
rather
are
than
under
to
the
watch it
influence.
again. A
Let's
little bit, yeah.
Yeah, no, you got to do weed gummies next
let's
time.
do
I think it'll
some
be
Not
weed
better.
doing
gummies. Okay,
CBD.
I know we're running out in time, but I wanna talk about the trailers just a bit.
I think we all can choose one
Let's do
topic to
can we
talk about right now.
do
Okay, yeah.
I have a topic I want to talk about. You guys get to choose what
I'll
your
talk about
topics are.
Invincible because I forgot I
I
started
wanna
watching
talk
some of it.
about
I'll
Harley
talk about
Quinn.
the show. Okay.
Okay.
You
Aiden, you go first.
okay? So I'm gonna talk about the Fiona and Cake
Oh yeah,
spin-off
I actually do need your take on this.
trailer. Okay, because you never watched Adventure Time,
I
which
never watched it.
after finishing Steven Universe, please watch Adventure Time. That one's also really good.
I will try. I will try.
That one's a top 5 show in my opinion.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's one of my favorite shows.
Okay.
The trailer for Fiona and Cake looked really interesting. It looks like a multiverse hopping show potentially,
So
which is
like
interesting.
explain what this show is, because I think it's like from what it looks like, from what I've seen, it's like an
Mhm.
alternate universe with like the characters of Adventure Time, but in like the real world.
Well, so Fiona and Cake within the story of Adventure Time is a story written by the
Ice King.
of Gender Bent Adventure Time.
Ah,
And then there is a Fiona and Cake show in the show also. It's a little bit confusing.
like an
but
episode in the show about it.
It's weird. It's weird. But the trailer had a bunch of characters that we're familiar with. Like it had Marshall Lee and Prince Bubblegum and Fiona and Cake and characters that we know, but they were living normal lives. So this could be before the Mushroom War, or in a world that magic doesn't exist in, or it could just be its own thing altogether.
Yeah, I'm confused by what you just said, but I think I'll get it
Yeah,
if I watch it.
yeah. But it looks interesting. The art style looks really good, and I am excited for this show to continue. One thing I like about Adventure Time is they don't reboot their stuff; they just continue their stuff.
What is
Mhm.
that? What do you mean by that?
That's cool.
Well, because once Adventure Time ended, they had Distant Lands, which was like 4 like hour-long episodes about certain characters, and they
Like an
are their
epilogue.
own. Yeah, it's like an epilogue. It came out a couple of years after the show ended, and those were really nice bookends to a lot of characters. And then this Fiona and Cake thing hopefully will continue. The like main poster for it has characters from the main universe. Like it has Finn, it has Simon, it has Marceline on it, and I want to know where that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm
Are you
excited for that.
you're gonna watch it, right?
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. I
All right.
think I'll try and start rewatching Adventure Time.
All right.
Also,
I'll try to
Beck, it's only 34 hours in length, the entire show. I
wait, of
googled
Adventure Time?
Yeah, I googled how many hours is Adventure Time, and it said
Oh
34
wow,
hours.
that's very doable. Yeah, sorry. I saw there were like 12 seasons. I thought it would be like way longer than that. Yeah, but that's only like what? Like a month?
They're also like 11 minutes long for Adventure.
That's doable.
That's like yeah,
And
very doable.
It's not like episodical. They're like their own mini stories within themselves, but then they'll have arcs
Gotta
and
love a
stuff.
show
Yeah,
that balances serialized and episodicness.
Adventure
All
Time
right.
does that well.
Okay.
All right,
I'm
Uri.
excited about. Fuck it, I'm gonna change it to Futurama because that's more upcoming. Okay, so
Ooh.
Futurama is
also
coming
excited for
today.
that.
Was July 21st, also known as Barbenheimer Day, but we've already done that. Guys, I think I'm reading about this guy named Oppenheimer. I think he should have a movie about him, but never mind. Futurama is coming out on the 24th, I believe. It's coming on the 24th. Okay, so I am super excited. I've been rewatching episodes of the previous season, and I just can't capture how much my joy and love for this TV show. Because, like, people say some people don't even like the later seasons. I still like the later seasons. I still like them. I don't think any episode of Futurama is terrible for me. I like them all. I enjoy them quite immensely. So no matter what, I am excited for this franchise to return. So my question is, Beck, are you going to watch the new season? I mean,
if I get a Hulu subscription, I will watch the entire show. I want to watch Futurama. I watched the first season. I loved the first season. I just do not have a Hulu subscription right now.
You should pirate it.
Me and Aiden are probably going to give weekly reviews of each episode, I assume, because when it comes out.
Yep.
and that's going to be really exciting.
I'll do
So I'm assuming it's going to be like 10 episodes and then a break and then another 10 episodes is how they're going to do that. And so that's exciting. The episodes, I'm excited because like it's like finally some like we're getting some good news in my sphere of animation that I like to watch, and because we also have on the other side Solar Opposites, that's coming up. Harley Quinn, that's also coming up. So for me, it's going to be very fruitful.
Those trailers both look
And
good. I am excited for the adult animated content that is coming out with those and the Superman show and Fiona and Cake.
so it's very, very exciting. Baxter, Higgins,
Very
Lions, Pigeons. What would you like to say to me?
I'm not talking to you, Uri. I'm talking to the audience. Saying, watch Invincible.
That's exciting. That's also coming out
All right.
for me. Just for me.
It is coming out.
I need to watch it.
September. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna walk through. So, Invincible
for me, just for me,
came out in like, oh my god, Invincible
like Vincent
came out in like what, 2021?
Yeah, 2021. It was like
2 years ago.
it was during my sophomore year, like the May.
Yeah, okay. It came out 2021. It was really good. It was like Amazon Prime somehow was really good at doing like dissections of like superhero tropes and
like
good
the two
superhero
TV shows.
So the 2 TV shows that they have that people like actually know are those two. So Invincible season 1 came out. It was amazing. And then I don't know if they had already greenlit a season 2, but it took them a while, and now 2 years later we're getting season 2. It comes out, I believe, September 3rd, and I definitely need to rewatch it because I don't remember a lot of it. But what they did do was today they dropped a 55-minute special that was like Adam Eve's origin story. That's like it's like a full episode.
Yeah, no, Adam,
like
that's
like
amazing joke.
Like the thing.
Aiden, do you have Amazon Prime?
All right.
My mom does.
You should. If you, I feel like Invincible might be your alley because like you probably like superheroes.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And I love how it's like it uses like animation, like regular like stack shock animation.
Like this show, I don't think would work in like live action.
Sometimes I always rewatch like the final episode of the season of Invincible because that was a fire final episode, and
I like to watch the second to last one because it's like them literally throwing everything they can at it, and it's so funny. Or like
my only thing with
terrifying.
this show is like the Omni-Man plot is the big draw of it. Outside of it, there's not that much more engaging plot for me. The Omni-Man plot is really what brings everybody in. I would say that's like the top plot, you know? And so, did you like the episode?
Halfway through, but it seems pretty normal, and I think it's gonna be good character development because I don't know, I do not really remember Adam Eve from the original. It just she didn't really make much of an impact. I don't really remember a lot of the characters, so that's why I'm definitely thinking I should rewatch.
I like to tell you about a character. He's called Invincible. I don't know if you know that, but his name is Mark.
Oh my! He's not
Mark
in the
Grayson.
episode. It's all right. Well, I think that's
so
all.
I'm gonna watch Barbenheimer.
Yeah,
so always use Celsius.
I agree,
guys. You should watch.
Always use Celsius, you lovely bastards.
Always Celsius.